Although I enjoy cooking, I don't always feel like doing it, especially now that it's dark at 5 o'clock at night. It's like my brain is thinking it's time for Netflix and wine, not standing in front of the stove cooking dinner. So today I'm gonna share with you guys 2 easy keto dump and go recipes that you can cook in this guy, my slow cooker. These are both freezer meals, so if you like to meal prep, you can actually just dump all of the uncooked ingredients to a freezer bag, freeze it, and then just add it to your crock pot the morning you want to have it. So let's go dump some ingredients into a slow cooker so you don't really have to make dinner tonight. First up, we're making keto beef stew. And not only is this stew filled with a ton of vegetables, including something that resembles a potato, no, it's not cauliflower, but the broth is so good that you might want to drink it. Start by adding 2 pounds of stew meat to your slow cooker. And I'm using beef, but this is a great recipe to add in some venison or elk if you have that in your freezer. Next, add in 1/2 can of diced tomatoes, 1.5 cups of green beans, and you can use frozen or fresh green beans here. If you do use fresh, just make sure you cut them into bite-sized pieces. 6 ounces of chopped mushrooms. Now, traditional beef stew has potatoes in it, and obviously we can't have potatoes on a keto diet. So instead, I'm gonna add an ingredient that is going to look like a potato, plus it has a neutral flavor, so it's gonna just take on the flavor of our stew. And that ingredient is a daikon radish. You can find most of these at bigger grocery stores, and it looks like this. You can cube it into bite-sized chunks so it looks more like a potato, and it will soften as it cooks. So 8 ounces of daikon radish going in there. And other options that you could use in place of the daikon radish, if you couldn't locate that, would be cauliflower or even parsnips, and maybe even jicama. Next, add in 4 cups of chicken broth. And you can use beef broth instead. I just never seem to have it on hand, but I always have chicken broth and it works just fine in this recipe. 1/2 cup of chopped onions, and then I'm adding in just 1/2 carrot. And yes, carrot does have carbs, but it wouldn't be beef stew without a little bit of color and some carrot. And 1/2 carrot only has 4 grams of net carbs, and this stew makes around 6 to 8 servings, so it's divided over those servings, so it's hardly any carbohydrates, but you could omit it if you wanted. Next, pour yourself a glass of wine and pour 1/2 of it into your crock pot, and the other 1/2 will go down the hatch. Oh wait, it's only 9 a.m. Maybe I should have a glass of electrolytes from Element, who is my sponsor for today's video. I like to have a glass of electrolytes first thing in the morning. After a good night's sleep with no water, it's the best way to rehydrate. Element is a delicious electrolyte drink that has all of the electrolytes I need to keep my energy levels up. It has a science-backed formula of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. But I also love that it doesn't contain any sugar or dyes. And it's perfectly formulated to those on the keto diet. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serving flavors free with any Element order. It's a great way to try all of the 8 flavors or just to share with a salty friend or your family. Get yours at drinkelement.com/KetoFocus. This deal is only available through my link down below, so you must go to drinklmnt.com/KetoFocus. All right, where were we? We poured the wine, decided not to drink it because it was 9 a.m. Oh yeah, it's time for seasoning. You'll need 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and this adds some of that umami flavor, so don't skip this. 2 bay leaves, 3 tablespoons of butter for some healthy fat, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And you could add a thickener towards the end of this cooking if you wanted to. I don't think it's necessary, but if you went that route, I would add a teaspoon of arrowroot powder because it's my favorite keto thickener. Then we cover and let it slow cook on low for 5 to 6 hours or on high for 3 to 4 hours. Then when you come home from work, you can open it up, pour it into a bowl, have dinner with your family or your pets, and then pour yourself a glass of wine and turn on some Netflix. Up next, we're making crack. Chicken. A lot of people don't like the term crack chicken because it's associated with drug use, but it's only called crack chicken because it's insanely delicious and addicting, just like crack. It's probably not a good name for it, but this is really simple to make and only involves 6 ingredients, and you only need 3 of them to go in the crock pot right now, which is chicken, ranch seasoning, and cream cheese. Start by adding 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken to your slow cooker. And you can use chicken breast or chicken thighs here. Then you sprinkle on a packet of ranch dressing seasoning. And I know this isn't the cleanest of ingredients, so if you didn't want to use the packaged stuff, you could actually make your own. And I have a couple of recommendations. My friend Julianne from Keto Cooking Christian has a recipe on her site, as does my Aussie friend Megan from Mad Creations Hub. And I'll have those listed down below for you. You'll need to cube up 2 blocks or 16 ounces of cream cheese and add that on top of your chicken. And that's it. You turn your crock pot on low, let it cook for 5 to 6 hours, or you can let it cook on high for around 3 hours. And then before you serve it, you wanna shred your chicken. And I find the easiest way to shred chicken is to use your electric mixer. It's super fast, it doesn't make a mess. You don't have to like sit there with 2 forks, just shredding it forever. Then we stir in some cooked and crumbled bacon. This is 10 slices that I've chopped up. And then top it with a 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And then put the lid back on and let it cook for an additional 5 to 10 minutes, just until the cheese is melted. Then top it with some green onions and serve. I like to have it over some cauliflower rice, but this is actually really good as a dip too. Or a great way to use up leftovers is to make yourself a chicken salad sandwich using keto bread. And I have just the recipe for you if you want to make the perfect keto sandwich roll. Just click right here because I show you how to do it.